Welcome everybody. We're gonna do a quick get ready with me. I always say quick, and then let's see. Um, so I use one of my Korean skincare, like night serums. I can still like feel it on my skin. Welcome. So I have a little bit of puffiness. I don't think I had like too much of like salty food yesterday, but sometimes I'll get a little puffy here, puffy here, puffy here. So I'm just trying to like drain that. Whoa. Welcome. I am a blogger, YouTuber from Chicago, 18 years. Originally started with online gaming in the internet space, thanks to my brother. And you all might be like, wow, that sounds really familiar to somebody else. But at the time, there wasn't such a, like a reiteration of what I used to say on Gaia until years later, which is quite interesting. But it is what it is. Hi, Qwerty, welcome. I'm gonna do my best to do my makeup like super fast because I gotta also get a salad ready as well, something simple. Getting my vegetables. So you kind of see that like it's a little puffy right here. So I'm gonna try to like, is it? It shouldn't be. Unless that's like a new troll thing. It's like I have my audio playing over here too. Just try to drain. Hopefully that starts to like activate, and then that can complete. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is trolling, so. My foundation. Yeah, like I'm literally getting makeup right now. This is a bot. Okay. So, as what the title says, I used to be a group co-founder for 2 different groups. And my gosh, the lessons that I learned from that, especially with like trying something new out when it comes to like socializing and everything, in leadership, which maybe the old me would have done a lot better. I'm just gonna like this, like sit just for a moment, and I'm gonna blend it in, because I don't like doing it on my hand. That, you know, like it's one thing to be empathetic, like, oh, you know, like what's going on, you know, like how come you're not going to the meetups that you say that you're gonna go to? How come you want to showcase certain types of behavior while you're in this group? I'm not perfect, but you know, like we want people to want to come to this group or whatever. I mean, like to each their own, if that's the lifestyle that they want to live. But that group and then the preceding group afterwards definitely gave me a lot of experiences of what you should and should not do as a founder, as a leader, in groups like that, which will always stick with me. There's nothing like trying to work with someone and not outcast them to make them feel bad about anything, whereas they want to sabotage the group's efforts, right? That you all want the group to grow, or they claim that they do, that they're on the same page with you, but they're not. And they're not putting in that effort to make the group grow just because you happen to be the leader of that. And I've been like reading various articles, various um, blurbs about like leadership, entrepreneurship, groups, things like that. And not necessarily like having wanted that group to be like a full-blown business, but running it like one, you know, to the best of my ability. You know, don't want to be too strict, but knowing that without structure, there's no momentum. Knowing that if there's a certain standard, everybody should be held to that standard. Knowing people are trying to have people in there that don't want to hold themselves to that standard. Um, what is really interesting, let alone people trying to play mind games or do moves against you so that you are almost like mentally incapacitated so that you don't make events, so that you are to, your mind is shifted to like what's going on than the bigger picture at hand, like the goals at hand. And it's interesting. It's interesting also when people read certain books of how to like conquer others or how to like make other people fail and sabotage them and such. And it's like, oh, okay, that's interesting. So this is like what you all are reading and such, pretending to be my friend, whereas you all are like sabotaging everything and not even like fully congratulating me on anything or working alongside me for something that was supposed to be like a mutual goal. I think this is blended. Get into concealer. The foundation that I am using right now is Rihanna, um, the Fenty Beauty. I used to wear the one 420, but then it seemed to be too orange on my skin. Hi, Marie. Now this is 385. So this is the foundation that I started using. Um, and what I go for. Right now I am using a girl's suggestion, Born This Way by Too Faced concealer. I was using e.l.f., but I felt that it was a little bit too drying. It was one of those 24-hour makeups, like long wear matte. I felt that it was kind of drying in some spots. So I'm gonna do that. It's not too bright, like the old school like concealer look, and just kind of like brightens up my under eye area. Do I have enough right here? Just add like a little bit more. Let's do that. Okay. Do a look here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. With being like a founder of some groups, some of those social circles, if you will, that it's really interesting when you aren't fully snappy, when you're not fully like, oh, like you're super blunt, like, hey, this is shitty. Why are you doing such a like fucked up thing, right? And like, okay, well, let me be like with all the circumstances that have accumulated during that time. I'm like, okay, let me be super understanding to people, be super kind and sweet to people who are doing things on purpose. You know, like we're not 3 years old or whatever. We're, you know, older. You know, we were what, 19, 20, 21 at the time. And people choose to do things like, oh, you know, you choose to insult beginner gyaru. You choose to insult newcomers. You choose to insult people and make fun of people just to feel better about yourself. Whereas if somebody were to come at them like that, like 100%, no holds barred, oh, let me make fun of your makeup, your hair, this, that, and the other, then, you know, there will be an issue. But I did my best to show grace and just think like, oh, you know, maybe they're having like a really tough time, that, oh, this is just how that person is. Okay, that's done. I really want to get my salad, but I don't feel like necessarily interacting with anyone just at this time, like personally. But what else? Oh, this person's just being really loud and rude right now. What else? Do a little bit of this. Okay, I think I have enough on there. But you know, like I have these standards from my gyaru circle that I entered, that I got like vouched for, diamond, making then black cherry to help like create more like gyaru traction in Chicago so people can come to the meets and stuff. And everything that I learned there, like it was really interesting, like meeting people who are legit learning how to sabotage, legit learning like, oh, I'm reading this book and it's a book about like how to make people fail and everything. And it's just like, oh, okay, like, oh, what is this book about, you know? Like right in the title, it says like, pretty much like wanting the conflict, right? And then thinking, wow, you know, like, what else are you scheming? You know, you've already done a set of actions against me, I guess on behalf of somebody else, telling you to do this. I need like a wipe or something. I have like makeup accumulating on my hands. Ugh. Whatever. But like this is a book that you've chosen to read, you know, which is like really interesting, right? To other things of like crossing other people's boundaries for fun. You know, like you don't respect somebody, you don't care about somebody, so you do a certain set of actions to really mess with their heads and such. And then, oh, but you're my gal sister, you're this, you're that. I guess to like, oh, we're friends, you know, like don't think anything of it. I'm just joking. And knowing that they've never really been there for you. But then like you go to a spot where they happen to be at and, you know, they want to piss their pants and everything literally and go hide when, you know, they want to be all big and bad and they just go around people trying to like really make you seem like a really mean person based on lies, which is like defamation, like, oh, you want to get sued now for doing this after flirting and sending pictures to somebody that I didn't break up with willingly. You know, that's interesting. That's interesting doing that, like, as a founder of something that probably could have just been like a hobby, right? To, you know, everybody's like, oh, you know, let's rent out this, let's rent out this, let's, you know, do all these big events. But you're not even going to your own event. So you're just talking out your mouth with, okay, we spend money on this. Are you pitching in for this venue? You know, or is this coming out of somebody else's pocket and you're just sitting back, ha ha ha, you know, let's make this event fail or whatever. To, you know, not showing up and just like all this stuff. And it was very interesting, you know, wanting to think like, wow, you know, everybody's having a tough time getting jobs. Well, maybe they never cared about the jobs that they had in the first place because they didn't have any issue getting any jobs, and probably only wanted to lose their jobs for unemployment. You know, they don't have to work for a while. You know, you work for a little bit, get on unemployment, and you know, everything's all good, right? Pretty much gaming the system. And it was just really interesting facets of so many different things, right? You know, let me be kind to people, let me be nice. You know, I don't want to be rude. I don't want to misconstrue anything. And then like trying to look out for other people and then using that and twisting it, right? Like, why would I want to be friends with somebody that has certain views about something? You know, like if they're racist, if they're misogynistic or whatever. And why would I want to be connected to somebody like that and have them around people when those people enjoy that? Like, oh, it's okay if you're fat phobic, even though I'm like chubby or plus size or whatever. Like, that's okay because you're a man, you have a penis or something, right? It's always been interesting to me, but I guess it's like, who cares about what a black woman has to say when you're black, when all you care about is pursuing male attention? And with people saying like, oh, you know, like girls, girls, or male validation type of stuff recently. And it's like, wow, like I lived through that. I lived through people condoning crappy behavior, maybe because they're not a part of it or they don't mind being used and objectified. But you know, like it's okay if that happens to somebody else. It's okay if somebody, you know, gets any type of negativity as long as they get what they feel is positivity being used as an object, being used as more or less an adult toy, if you will. You know, that makes them feel good, that makes them feel loved, maybe because they don't have that father figure in their lives and such. So they feel like, oh, I'm better than somebody else if I can steal their man. I'm better than somebody else if I can ruin relationships and be a homewrecker and, you know, get like try to do those mind games so they don't make events, so they don't feel happy or whatever, where I'm like, okay, well, that sucks. That shows me the type of person that you are because I'm not consenting for a third person to be a part of this relationship. I didn't have that talk with that person. This person chose to talk to other people. So that is a big difference when it comes to being like a blogger, a YouTuber, a co-founder, kind of trying to get that businessy mindset, right? That businessy acumen, business acumen that that's sabotage. That's straight up sabotage. Because what if I felt so connected to somebody and wanted to marry them, wanted to have kids with them and stuff, and you know, all of a sudden, oh no, they're cheating on me with somebody, or they're doing all of this stuff, and like, wow, I'm so heartbroken. I can't do the things that I like, which is really interesting. And my name is Lisha. I don't know who the fuck Shawty is. I'm not short. Why so rude? It's rude to call somebody out of their name. Like, Shoddy, I don't know you. I didn't give you permission to give me a nickname like that. Thank you, Mari. Arigato ne. Chill out. That's the wrong thing to say. Nope, nope, nope. Chill out because I'm sticking up for myself. Chill out because I'm saying, hey, don't address me as such. Like, I feel like way too many people say that because they don't want to feel wrong. Which brings us to one song. Okay, I'm gonna do some eyeliner and then I'm gonna do, I guess, wash my circle lenses. Do that, put them in. I don't think I'll do eyelashes today either since I am running a little bit short on time. Well, we do chill here, but however, I have a name. Yeah, I always find it interesting that guys always be like, oh, hey, baby, oh, hey, blah, 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 cutie, whatever. And it's like, I have a name. You know, like, why are you trying to jump the gun and bypass everything when we're strangers and I don't know you? When, like what's the purpose at the end of the day? Like, why? Why? Just gonna do a kind of thin eyeliner. Don't have my lenses in just yet. And then I'll do my eyebrows and a little bit of nose contour. Oops. Something slight, something slight. Do a little mascara. Because one thing with like putting on eyeshadows or even foundations and such, you'll get that on your eyelashes. And if you're not taking that off, you'll see where your like eyelashes start because they're like full of dust or foundation. And if you put on eyelashes on top, you'll see that underneath. Or it'll just look like you don't really have eyelashes. But in regards to being a co-founder, wanting people to feel accepted, wanting people to feel included when they don't even want to show up themselves, when they are more interested in backstabbing you trying to steal a man from you, who at the end of the day, it's like, you can take the trash, you know, like, you're giving me more reason to be single, you know, like, thank you for your service, because I could use my energy and self for something else. What else, what else, what else? I'm gonna do my eyebrows. I have my eyebrow stuff, but I wanna use something else because it's just gonna glide on a lot better. Okay. Also, I think I should post something up too. I only notice my lashes are visible when I take pics. Ah, your new Dolly ones. Just need my eyebrows. Just need my eyebrows. Where? Huh? I'm sure like it's probably like right in front of my face somewhere. Oh, that's my little snack. I can't seem to find. There it is. And then I just need a brush. That way I can do my eyebrows and that's pretty much call it a day. Kind of get this brushed out a little bit. But co-founding a group with people who are legit learning how to sabotage others because of the book choices that they want to share. I guess thinking like, oh, you know, Lisha looks cool. She says she's in college, but we don't think that she's reading any of this stuff or whatever. Or even having like other people mention stuff to me who became mutuals, like even though they were like full of drama and stated that they like drama and such. But then it's like, oh, okay, so somebody wrote this or somebody wrote that. Okay, what does that mean? And it's like, okay, thank you. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Um, you know, kind of feeling like I shouldn't be emotional, just like think about it and then think of like what next to like, okay, this is interesting. This is interesting. But I had somebody recently come back into my life after many attempts of trying to reach out to them and such, where it's like, you know, I'm not just trying to be like, oh, I don't even know, to be honest, just, hey, you know, like I'm not trying to forget about you or use you for like the J Fashion stuff, the person who kind of helped organize the LA J Fashion thing in Los Angeles, Anime Expo, and just try to be like, hey, you know, like what's up? Like I have like a present to give to you for like all this hard work and including me, and they'll just kind of like always blow me off. To like a couple years later, like, oh wait, who is this? And it's like, what other lishamisha do you know? Like you don't remember me after I was in your group for like a year or so and we spent 2 years talking on the phone and everything like that. And I'm like, okay, I see the games now because they chose to hang out with a person who wanted to sext and maybe even more the partner that I was with that I eventually like dumped. It's like, okay, I have classmates coming to me, I have random people telling me that you're chatting with them and wanting them to come to Chicago or whatever. But they're clingy, but you're leading them on or just catching fish, you know, to, you know, like, okay, this is the person that you choose to hang out with, knowing what they're doing, knowing what they've said in the community about them, about me, and let alone knowing why, like, I just didn't, like, I just stopped talking with them. And And it's like, oh, okay, I see. And you want to come back and be like, oh, Lisha, oh, I see that you got your blog and blah, 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 blah. Like several people have done that only to be rude to me during like their nice phase, like, oh, what do you got going on or whatever. I see that you're blogging again, or potentially like, let's swoop in to try to like mess me up or whatever. And it's like feeling, oh, after all these years after Black Cherry, you never really contacted me. You flaked out on things of me trying to connect with you, but yet you want me to think that you're being 100% authentic and honest with trying to pursue this relationship when you've been friends with somebody and condoned what they've done for a long time, that you were okay with everything that went down, right? To having somebody like, oh, you're so sweet and kind of understanding, and oh, that was in the past, people were young, but people were also young reading books on how to sabotage people and doing things and being rude, maybe even like low-key racist, low-key fat phobic, or high-key fat phobic, and me wanting them to change to be better people. But that's okay. But if those people were to treat her like that, I'm sure she would pop off. I'm sure she would have an attitude. I'm sure she would do something against those people. And having her tell me like, oh, leave everything behind or whatever for the sake of somebody who never really cared how I felt about anything. It's like, wow, you don't give a shit about me, but what you're saying that I have these followers and stuff now, things are having like a lot more traction because I'm not giving that up for the sake of people to be happy around me, because they don't want to put in the work or whatever. They just want to sit back and be like, wow, people love me, when they're not putting their face out there, but like, oh, let somebody do the work. Let me throw all this hate and hindrance at them, and just like, okay, well, you don't give a crap about me, but you want me to coddle you, somebody older than me. You want me to coddle you for whatever you're going through, which may or may not be true, when we could have been chatting about this years and years and years ago. We could have had the relationship for you to lean on me, I guess. But, I'm supposed to give my empathy from myself to somebody else who has disregarded me over 10 years. Oh, yeah, okay, and not wanting to keep up with the conversation, but all of a sudden you want to come around. Oh, I'm going through all this stuff, Lisha. Be my mammy, coddle me, baby me, make me feel better. We're strangers. Like, you chose to hang out with people who hated me, who wanted people to steal from me or threaten me or whatever. You chose to hang out with people who have done this, who've chosen somebody else. You did not care about the relationship. You did not care how I felt during that. I reached out for what, just to be used for like the gyaru brand type of thing. Like, don't get me wrong, it was fun. I like, working and like trying new things out. But then it's like, is this like a boss employee type of a thing? Because we're not really friends. Not necessarily this person is a mentor teaching me anything, about gal life, since they are Japanese, half, like, it just made me think, wow, everything's just like really weird, like, I'm not trying to say like the people are weird, just the actions that they choose to take, saying like, oh, don't trust yourself, don't trust in, all the pain that has happened, so I will get nowhere, let alone with like Dunkin' Donuts or the Art Institute or schooling and stuff. But, keep catering to people's emotions, keep catering to people's moods and stuff. Whereas nobody gave a fuck about how I felt during all of this, you know. Um, People might be like, oh, okay, here's a picture of me and Lisha or whatever. And it's like, oh, but, you could have posted this a long time ago. But, all right, sure. To like what? Give them some relevance, since I'm like working hard on my blog. I'm working hard on everything that I gave up so I can have good relationships with people, so they wouldn't hurt me, so they wouldn't, talk bad about me, because I was authentically like trying to include them. I was including them with stuff that maybe I could have just given that time to somebody else who wasn't going to help ruin my mental health, help ruin my reputation with other people, ruin what I've been trying to do, whether I did want to become like a public figure or not, or just like, hey, here's some content, guys. It's all free, like whatever. And I'm just chilling, right? Which is really interesting, Because I'm sure if they were going through every little thing that I went through, the threats, the sabotage, losing jobs, stalking, things like that, that they would want people to help them out. You know, they will want people to coddle them and pat them on the head and give them hugs and do everything for them to make their life better and right. Whereas I don't get that because of what? I'm black? Because I happen to have like a couple more followers than somebody else who feels like I shouldn't have that. That, you know, somebody else feels that I shouldn't have anything because I want to try to eat healthier, that I just happen to be a little bit slimmer. Like, I hate to say it, not like, oh, but just because of my genetics or whatever, you know, and people want to be like, oh, okay, this person, you know, has this girlfriend, Lisha, but he's a chubby chaser, not my words, his. But now he's filling up these women's heads with stuff. So now they don't like me instead of him who's using them, you know? Which is all really interesting. And maybe like I'll be a little bit controversial how they want me to be just to get my point across of how absurd all of this is for a guy that was living with his mama doing his laundry, and him being really disrespectful to her and being a rude ass motherfucker who's fat phobic and who has body image issues and tries to project that onto black women who he feels is objects. He don't want to respect black women. He wants to make fun of their noses and their body types, but also wants to use them as well, when he's not the epitome of masculine beauty or whatever. Like, let's get serious. Um, oh, no, you did. It was the link that I sent you. Oh, I've been all right, just focusing on stuff. Work is getting like a little bit harder, and thought that something would be like a given because it would happened already, and thought that the same would happen yesterday as well, and it didn't. And I'm just feeling like, oh, okay. You know, like here's another thing of like not knowing, like the omitting of information and stuff. But okay, you know, we'll see how it goes. Like I already have it in my mind how it's gonna go, just because of like pattern recognition and stuff. Because like, okay, what happened at Dunkin' Donuts? What happened at the University of Chicago? What happened at the Art Institute? What happened at the last job that I had? So I just feel that that's going to be the pattern for like anything that I get into, just because of who handled my resume years ago, who should not have had access to my resume, to people wanting me to be homeless, people wanting me to be broke and stuff, people not wanting me to make a profit and doing things that have been hurting, even like small hustle stuff. Like if I use my lishamisha22 brand or my own like government name, I don't really get a lot of freelance opportunities and stuff. Like, yeah, I have to market myself too. But when people don't want to like work with you because somebody else doesn't want you to feel good about what you bring to the table, so they do everything so people will see you in a bad light and see them in a good light despite them doing crappy stuff. Um, you know, that's interfering with somebody making money, right? As a founder, as just a person doing freelance and stuff like that, which is really interesting. And apparently that's illegal, you know, like if it's a regular business, people like your manager can't um, retaliate against you if you speak up on behalf of your rights, like not being sexually harassed in those spaces. Um, Even if somebody's like talking about sexual things, that you have the right to say like, I don't like this, and if they continue to do it, that's harassment. Um, but I guess things get really like a gray zone if that job, like you're not a full employee, you know, there's no W-2 or whatever, but you're working for them. They want you to work for them, but there's none of that. It's not necessarily a business, but I guess it's a business. It's not necessarily like a nonprofit, but it's a nonprofit, and like all this like, what is this entity for real? Because I've heard like way too many things where I'm like, I'm confused. You know, you want to pay me, but you don't really want to pay me. But you want me to work for you like nonstop, but I got bills to pay, but you don't want to pay me. And yet there's a lot of rules when you have an organization that's tied with the government and taxes and like legalities and stuff. Hi, welcome, welcome, welcome. When it comes to the group I'm creating and where stuff like that is gonna happen, yeah, like I don't even know how common a lot of this stuff is, but when you just get a group of people together, there's gonna be just like a lot, you know, like, oh, who makes her the leader or whatever. Do I want to listen to those rules and do what I have to do or whatever? It gets really interesting. It gets super, super interesting. Um, just like clean this up a little bit. It's kind of meh. Actually, maybe I won't use my contact lens. I'll let my eyes breathe for today. So super basic, super like incognito. Hee hee hee. I'm just gonna like brush this out a little bit and I'm gonna get to going. But being like a co-founder, you know, not just okay, you know, like, oh, I'm a gal circle leader, or you know, I made a gal circle. But like, okay, I'm a co-founder and these are the issues that I have. Like I could have like fired a person, but then I'm thinking, you know, this is a friendship circle. You know, it's not an event circle, but yet how is it a friendship circle if somebody's doing unfriendly things to you, right? And then wants to turn around and be a victim and say that you've done things that you never did when you've cared about them, you know? But yet, you know, they have people or other people want you to, oh, don't you trust this person, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, how can I trust somebody who showed me in person, in real life? And this other person saying that they were showing these pictures, trying to throw them under the bus. So I would say that they were like a good guy or whatever, that he was innocent, but he's like showing him, showing her topless photos. She's showing little sexy, racy pictures. And it's like, okay, like y'all both think I'm stupid, but how can I trust somebody who is showing me that they're sending pictures back and forth to somebody that, you know, if things were going right, we would have been married, living together, maybe having a kid or whatever. Like, how can I trust somebody like that? And how dare somebody tell me or try to insinuate that I should trust that person so I can let them back in my life so they can just do me even dirtier, so they can use me for like whatever clout stuff or like anything without giving back anything, without that relationship being mutually beneficial, right? Because if you're friends, like, let's say I pick you up or whatever from work and like maybe I don't want gas money, but like you do something really kind for me. You know, maybe you help cut my hair or something, or you um, pick up some of the best lashes for me. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. Like, I know that you always got my back with like really cute lashes or whatever, or cute lash ideas. And I help you out by like, you know, if I'm en route with something, like I'm picking you up or dropping you off or like making sure that you get home safely, you know. Maybe that sounds really transactional, but like it's not like, oh, okay, I'm just picking you up and dropping you off and you're like, ha, I don't need to do anything. Let me start being rude to this person. I don't have to do anything. Or like, oh, let me do a little bit of something and that's it. You know, you're my chauffeur, you know, type of thing, right? Because I've had people like that. You know, like why bring somebody back into my life that has done me dirty to so many people and have lied, and other people showcasing whether they believe them or not, but they still said what they said. And it's like, wow, I was nice to somebody who was extremely rude to me and took so much from me, like my betrayed my trust and everything, rude to me as well, talking about, oh, Alicia's such a bitch when I didn't do anything to her, and never wanted to bring up that she was acting like a slut or a homewrecker. Like, I don't want to say that in a misogynistic way, but just like that mindset, you know, being very loose or whatever, wanting to be this homewrecker on purpose. And that's okay. I should be friends with somebody like that. Why? So the next time I date somebody, she wants to be with them. The next time I date somebody, you know, I have to fear, you know, that, you know, she might start sending him pictures or he might start flirting with her and she doesn't care. She wants to do that because she finds it funny or she finds it necessary to, you know, sabotage me or like get revenge or something. I should trust somebody like that. Why? What is that doing for me? Like, is it like, oh, I'm doing this to see like what guy is going to be stupid enough to like do this so I can be like, all right, this happened because I know she's going to do this, which just makes me like, okay, well, I can just leave this relationship, you know, like, what would be the purpose? But I guess I can head out. I can head out and probably talk to, I guess this is okay. Let me see. Oh, just blend this out a little bit. It's a little streaky. Super basic, but we're just gonna leave it like that. I'll leave the background. I guess we can walk and talk a little bit. But it might be noisy and I know it's raining. And did I even bring my umbrella? I think I left it. But it's interesting. It's interesting how people are like, oh, Alicia's so forgiving. We can keep, you know, screwing her over. It's okay. You know, we can keep making fun of her. It's okay. She'll bring us back and we can like rest easy that, you know, she'll take pictures with us and we can be like, oh, we're with somebody cool, and like have people see them in those photos. You know, like not trying to say like, oh, I'm a celebrity or whatever, but like it's like that kind of vibe, right? Like, oh, you know, she's the it thing. You know, if I'm in her picture, people will see me and then they'll see my blog or, you know, whatever. Without doing anything on my behalf or sharing my blogs and like making it seem like they're being useful. Like all they're doing is detracting from like all of my efforts. Okay. What else? Do I have everything? I'm just gonna bring my microphone. I think it's fully charged. I'll just throw it in my pocket right quick. But yeah, like all of that has just been really interesting. You know, like what if Black Cherry was more of like a small business thing, you know? Try to get people to come through or like make it so that, you know, everybody is getting paid, you know? And nobody wanted that. They didn't even want to show up. So it's like, I can only do so much. And people did what they did. And I'm supposed to just be like, oh yeah, I trust you after being betrayed so much. Like, I'd rather be without. Like, I'd rather be without the people who find it necessary to do things to hurt me, knowing good and damn well they would not want that to be done to themselves. Knowing good and damn well that, you know, if somebody tried to sleep with their man, they'd make a big fuss about it, try to fight the person, drag them all over social media and stuff like that. You know, like, all of that is just so interesting to me. But like, oh, I'm not allowed to, for what reason? You know, like I'm not allowed to even be sad about it. I'm not even allowed to be like, hey, that hurt. You know, like, you know, or as supposed to be friends, then like, okay, I'm the boss of whatever, you know, get out. But like, oh, you know, let me just say how this hurts, whatever, and people don't want to listen. People don't want to say I'm sorry. People don't even want to be like, okay, I'm too embarrassed or whatever to say I'm sorry. Let me make it up to Lisha in some sort of way. You know, like there has been none of that. And people want me to refriend people. For what reason? What do I get out of it? Let's see. I don't even know if I have my headphones. I don't know. feel like I should, but I also feel like I probably do not. Oh well. But I do know I need my salad though. And like one quick moment, everybody. Okay. Okay, it's raining. It's raining. It's kind of drizzling. It doesn't seem too bad. Is it raining? Ugh, yep, sure is. All right, hopefully you can hear me as well. Let's see. I got my umbrella. So just walk and talk. Because I know Uber's gonna be a little bit expensive, so I'm gonna try to cut the cost a little bit. But being a co-founder and being real with that and not saying like, hey, you want to be a part of this circle, here are the rules. You're not doing what the rules are supposed to do. Like you want to be like against it, you are doing things that are making you an op, and there's people who are like, oh, you got to befriend this person. Why would I befriend somebody who is making it known to so many people that they do not like me, that they do not respect me? Okay, awesome, thank you. All right, Marie, if you don't mind, I made you temporary moderator. I don't want to just put all of the everything on you. It's just a little hard to try to do all this stuff and walk at the same time, speed walk. Um, but it's just really interesting. You're kind to people no matter what they look like, no matter what size they are, since that has been a rumor, a defamation, slander, libel, making me lose followers and collaborators and stuff. That has been a detriment, not just a tee hee hee type of a thing. That I see, I want to say the importance of it, but like the full effect of it, you know? Thank you so much, Marie. 감사합니다. Um, that people get to do so much bogus stuff and then turn right around and play victim when I start to speak up, or oh, let's pretend to look like nerds when they were looking like hoochie mamas at first. Oh, I have my new group away from Gal, and everybody that knows me and what happened between me and Lisha. Nobody's gonna see that I'm a hoochie or whatever, or that people would just be like, oh, I need to do it right now, and like all this other crazy stuff. Maybe they still do, but it's also interesting that people want to switch up so they can what, play the role of victim better, you know oh, how do I look like a victim? Oh, well, if I look cute, if I look sexy, if I'm wearing all this makeup, people won't believe me, so let me pretend
to look like something else. So Lisha looks like the mean girl. You know, Lisha's what an attractive, evil person. When, right? Like I see the game. And though a lot of stuff is embarrassing, right? Maybe hurtful, embarrassing, time consuming, emotionally draining, but just oh so enlightening as well. Yes, exactly. And it's interesting because I made space for that person. You know, like, okay, um, I invite you out to these art shows or whatever. You know, let's hang out, let's get to know each other. To, okay, it's day of, and they don't even have the maturity or the etiquette or whatever, the respect to say, hey, you know, I can't make it maybe some other time to, um, okay, let's hang out. But you're showing me that you'd rather spend time intimately with a white boy, you know? So it's like, okay, here's the pattern. Of course, I opened myself up to like, hey, be a part of this gyaru circle, Black Cherry, because I didn't want them to feel excluded, despite them. Hopefully, you still hear me. I don't know if it's picking up my voice really well right now. Um, Trying to make somebody feel included and not exclude them, especially after the disrespect, because any other person would have been like, all right, you blew me off so many times, I don't want to deal with you. Um, but I'm like, oh, you know, let me not be mean, let me not be a bitch or whatever. And I let somebody in my life who kept showcasing that they were being disrespectful. So yeah, like I did it to myself, opening up my personal life and everything else to somebody who was so callous on purpose, right? Um, oh, so many puddles, gross. What else? Um, and it was hard. Like now, like anybody else, like, oh, you know, if somebody did that to me, that would never have like happen ever again. Or people like, okay, this person set me up once or twice. Yeah, it's over. It's done. You know? Okay, awesome. Um, to okay, shoot. Oh, that's my train. That's what I need to take right now. One moment, y'all. That'll be all right. I had a shift. It's 1, 2 minutes off. Like I definitely have to get an Uber. I know I'm gonna be like a couple minutes late. I'm almost thinking like I should just get one now. Uber right now, I think. I think. Because being rude isn't the way to go, but I've learned to not let people walk over me for the sake of looking like the better person. Like bitch to people no matter what, especially as a non-white woman. Exactly. Exactly. And it definitely sucks. Like you could be sweet, you could be kind. The moment you say no, you're mean. Let's see my over here, but that's okay. But also just like what happens when you don't take those advices, right? Or those bit of advice. What happens when you don't like remove people who are actively ruining things, you know? Like you can keep giving second chances, but things are just going to get worse and worse and worse. Oh, it's a glitch. Oh yeah, I'm like moving through like a different app and stuff too. But it's interesting. It's very interesting. Um and it's also interesting that people want to do things to like hurt me or get at me or ruin my flow, like making content or what have you, to, oh no, that's not true. That's not true. But then it's like, but you all are, you showed me everything. Other people are saying this too. Like how delusional are you trying to be with the things that you've actively done and other people that you've added to try to like be mean and everything or do me dirty? And you're just going to say that like I'm not experiencing reality, right? When there's so many other people that were like mutuals with him because he decided to add them all up, mostly girls. um it's like, huh, that's interesting, but just a lot, you know and just a lot of experiences, a lot. Not just, oh no, we didn't make our goal of having this many people come to the event, or we didn't sell this many tickets. It's like all the behind the scenes of the stuff that like hinders a group, like group morale, group togetherness, the sisterhood, and like all this other stuff that what people are taking advantage of it just to do somebody dirty and then still think that they can waltz back into my life as if I'm going to let time heal all wounds without an apology, without any accountability, without anything, you know? Like that's the interesting part. Like, oh, let me just be friends with Lisha again. She's kind of popular. Oh, she's done this, she's done that. Oh, we could just, she's taken us in before, even though they haven't really done anything, to have the friendship space. Oh, that's okay. She's so forgiving. She's so stupid. She's so gullible. Oh my gosh. Wow, Lisha, buddy, like you're stupid still, right? Hashtag they hate you. If they never check up on you, knowing that some people are loud with their disrespect and their hate and their smear campaigns and their rumors, they hate you. Hashtag they hate you. Founders edition, gyaru edition. Hashtag they hate you. They don't want to apologize for what they did or what they co-signed, for what they allowed. Hashtag they hate you. Let's see, just due to directions being given, I will most likely end my live just to protect my safety. So people don't follow me or show up at my job like things have done before and ruin more relationships, even though I just feel like it's going to happen anyway. Like somehow some job or whatever is going to be pinged when I sign up for work, and they're like, "Oh, what other jobs is she have she worked at that she's not talking about?" and then it'll lead to two people knowing where I'm trying to work at and will try to ruin all those relationships and make it seem like I don't deserve to work, that I don't deserve or have the rights to work, make my own money. Because I feel like people want to control that people want to um, ruin it, have control of my finances or where my life's trajectory is supposed to be. And yeah, yeah. So I will see you all a little bit next time. Um, yeah, hopefully I am not too late today. I used to do really good and then just started like coming more and more like closer to that clock in time. But apparently, some people believe that if you're just at work chilling, like you should be paid while you're at work than just, oh, you're there 30 minutes early, Lisha, you're not getting paid for it, like why? Instead of like, okay, let me clock in straight on the dot. And it's like, if you show up early, some people see that as diligence to, oh, you're showing up early and you're not even getting paid being on that company property type of thing. Um, which is also something that like is like being pulled in two different directions, right? Of course, like being a little bit early is better than being late. But when you have people who are trying to like talk to your manager so you don't have work or whatever, or get you fired because they're filling their head with lies of like stupid stuff, right? Happened at the University of Chicago. Um, to having people like be disrespectful or say really rude things, saying sexual things on the job where it's weird. Like, why should I be asked to buy a man food? I'm not his mom. I'm not the link cart company. I'm not a food kitchen. But, like, why? Like, I'm not interested in you. Like, it has nothing to do with race or size or whatever. It's like, okay, we're coworkers first and foremost. Or like, okay, I am just more in tune with like trying to get my job done. And I'm already saying, like, I'm not interested in you. To why are you pressing me for something? Or, oh, you're a manager asking me who's making less money than you to take you out to eat? Like, are you my son? Like, I don't understand. But yeah, like, it's really interesting where jealousy and control leads people. um and like you're just an object to them, and like how dare you get away, how dare you try to make something of yourself, whether you have potential or not. But maybe you do, maybe that's what they like latch onto, and then all of a sudden you're wondering why you're not getting the job opportunities, or friends that were cool with you don't want to talk to you anymore, or you have to have all these people who are card cracking and trying to steal from old men and doing this, that, and the other, while you're trying to not be depressed and have a normal job. So it's really weird. Like, why do I have to be babysitting people who want to just be wild or whatever, and have people like, oh, well, seems like you're having trouble with your friends. And it's like, these aren't real friends. They don't care about me. Why do I have to have these people around me? Because I'm black, because I'm from the South Side, and I'm supposed to just have any type of person around me, and I can't be discerning of who should have my energy or my time. Like, that sounds a little interesting. That sounds kind of racist, you know. That like, not trying to sound classist to other people and their circumstances. But when it's like you kind of don't have anything in common besides being a woman or having like a woman's body and wearing makeup, like, how is that helpful? Because people who don't want to do something aren't going to be inspired. They're going to like hate it and try to tear you down. Not everybody gets lifted up by people who are doing something. So that's just really interesting. But yeah, see you all later. I know this video will probably get a copyright strike or something, but from that song that I played earlier. Um, but yeah. being a co-founder of something small, not even like a full-blown business, right? Maybe it could have gotten there, maybe not. Also, like having been like a freelancer and stuff too, that stuff like that would try to eat at you, so you don't do what is a priority, and you keep accepting stuff and allowing your boundaries to just like be trampled over all the time for the sake of keeping somebody in your life happy when they're not doing anything for you in this economy, in the economy before, after the first recession. Just oh, there's a man in my life and that person is acting more like a toddler or something. Like, yeah. All right. Have a good one, everybody. Chat with you all later. Hopefully, I'm not too late. The weather sucks, so I know that traffic is going to be a little messed up. Um, Thank you for listening. There will be more. I'm also going to have stuff like for Patreon for more like a class type of thing. And different tiers for that, but like for some basic stuff, just like you get it more in a more like research type of a way. Um, with like some examples, but especially for those who like to study in a more like let me read through something type of thing, take notes. So look out for that. And yeah, see you all next time. Ciao.